There was a young man born into a Christian home. And along about 10, 11 years old, he made a profession of faith. But it didn't have any change. There was no change in his life. The young man grew older, got into the teen years. And as he reached the teen years, he was a real rebel. Oh, he never drank and he never cursed, but he was a rebel against God and the things of God. He was a reckless individual. In fact, his key words were, "I don't care." Anything of any significance that was asked him about doing or how it turned out or whatever, his answer was, "I don't care." Along came a war, and he saw it as an opportunity to move on. So he joined before he got drafted. That was the days of the draft. He got into the service and he saw a side of life that he had never seen before. And he didn't like what he saw. But he still continued his ways in the vein of, "I don't care." A weekend came up and he was not supposed to go home, but one of his buddies said, "I'll trade you for the next one." So the young man traded his liberty, that's what you call it, or pass, for a 72-hour pass. Came home. He thought he was coming home to go to the high school homecoming football game. But just as he got into the door, his dad and mom reminded him, "We prayed you home. That's the reason you got that pass. Because we want you to go to the revival meeting that's being held at our church." Well, the young man got very indignant. He walked into the bedroom, slammed the door. But the Lord began to work in his heart. And he began to sense an uneasiness. And so he took off his military uniform and put on his street clothes and walked out and told his folks that he'd go with them. That night, that young man was convicted by the Spirit of God and got on his knees in front of an old wooden seat in a school auditorium and asked God to forgive him. And God did. God saved him. That young man stands before you this morning, 67 years later, 63 years preaching the gospel, to say to you, God will do the same thing for you that He did for me. Now the circumstances are going to be different, but the result is going to be the same. God will do it for you. If you're outside the throne room, I invite you this morning to come on in. If you're inside the throne room and you're not enjoying your Christianity, I encourage you to get it right with God this morning. Will you do it?